Okay, team. Homebuilder sentiment goes negative for the first time in 7 months thanks to higher mortgage rates. I mean, I was expecting this.
Well, I mean, can you blame them?
But okay, but here's the tale. Here's the tale of two stories here. You have the going negative, but for the first time in 7 months. Yeah. So in the last 7 months, haven't mortgage rates been higher than they were the year before and the 2 years before that? Yes. So what made them tip into being negative now? What do you think it is? How long they think it's going to last, or the current pain they're feeling now?
I just think it's going to be the uncertainty of what's happening, what's going to happen next, right? Especially with this new information with Uncle Powell, what he announces, the rates being where they're at. I mean, again, it's an affordability situation that we're in. How many people are going to be able to come into these new homes and have, 5 family members in here qualify for one home? So those are probably the things that we're going to start seeing more.
I think the builders are taking more in consideration that it's getting tougher and tougher on affordability. And although they could build and, have and hold and, give credits or whatnot, at what point does it just not make it profitable for them to build and have houses just, not be able to be bought because rates are continuing to go higher. Things are getting expensive. So people are now double thinking, should I buy the brand new house or possibly just take a different alternative route? And I think they're starting to see that in the last 7 months, that data was lagging. And now they're starting to see maybe holding costs are a little bit more expensive. The materials are more expensive. They got to pay out workers. They got to pay out people that are basically at the new builds or finishing the projects that are still not completed. And now they're starting to see, like, towards the end of the year, damn, it's really not coming full force like we thought it was. And now we're seeing the numbers. I mean, it said right here, single family market fell 5 points in September to 45. And then anything below 50 is considered negative. So we're already been going down. Anything below 50 is bad. So where does that leave their sentiment?
Well, that's not, and the percentage wise, that's a pretty steep decline. Going from 50 to 45, representation is a 10% decline just month over month, at least in sentiment, if you will, in confidence. I do not like that they are saying they're feeling pessimistic because, for everyone who wants to argue, sentiment doesn't matter. Oh, okay, well, it sounds like it does. So
of course it does.
Of course it does. Sentiment turns into building permits. Just so you know, what's upstream from getting building permits? Your sentiments.
You see, when Jerome Powell goes up to speak, his sentiment has a lot of influence.
Building confidence is going to be an issue, but I'm going to go back to a story Mikey told us about his buyer who got how much was it? $35,000 incentive.
Yeah, $35,000.
And how much was the price on that?
$525.
$525 purchase price, $35,000 builder incentive. So then the question I'm left asking myself is, what was their operation cost? What was their build cost? How much is left at the end after they pay out their commissions? They do the incentive. Like, they have to be asking themselves, is all of this worth it to make $10,000 or $30,000? They have a revenue mark and target they're trying to reach, and I think that is coming under duress, and that's why they're feeling pessimistic.
Well, Andy, even when we had closed on our client, Brian went with me to the closing, and when we were there, we noticed they're still building a bunch of those townhomes. So, I mean, they got to be asking themselves and seeing the writing on the wall, how are we going to get people in these? Are we just building them just to build them, or what's going on?
I think inventory obviously is still going to be something, at least locally here in San Diego, the inventory is needed. That is not going to necessarily go away. Your people who can afford that might be diminishing a little bit right now in this current season of the rate situation we're in, but we definitely still will need the housing, because if it's not someone buying it for themselves, it's going to be someone else buying it and putting a tenant in there.
That's it.
Yeah. Even if it sounds like it's expensive, someone's going to do that for the long haul because, like, well, I'm just going to buy an investment then because I'm going to keep it here because there's demand in Chula Vista. Yeah. So I think that's always going to be a fallback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully the rents work out. Those things are falling too.
Yeah. Well, you put 5 people in it. Like you said. Why put not? 5 people in that house.
We are near the border, Yeah.
So. That has, okay, well, I guess that has something to do with it, but maybe not. Well, high mortgage rates is being blamed for some of this builder confidence, and then the consumer demand obviously is taking a hit from that as well. Rates and affordability. I mean, come on, guys. We keep talking about the same thing. It's like a carousel, but I also don't necessarily know what to do, because if you can't make builders build more homes, then that inventory has to come from the existing homes on the market, and that again now goes back to Brian's golden handcuff comments, where people have to be motivated to sell.
Yeah,
100%. And I think that we're yet to see, more people sell their houses and get off those golden handcuffs. And we can expect that to happen once, the market starts, the labor market starts softening a lot more. So we'll wait to see what happens with that. But I feel that's going to bring a lot more inventory down the line.
So much going on.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's so many moving pieces.
Going back to that labor problem, I think that will cause some people to sell that have all this equity you're talking about, that they're sitting on that really low 2.5-3%. I mean, they might have to forego that in order to sell and just use that equity to pay off debt, or just to make it through whatever the storm they're facing. But
yeah, I mean, they're saying right now that we have historically the highest debt consumer on average has $77,000 worth of debt.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a lot.
I didn't see that. That's a lot.
No,
That's a lot.
That's someone's yearly
100%.
salary right there.
And savings aren't stronger anymore either. Savings have been being depleted all year throughout the course of inflation rising up high. And I believe I saw in a report that many Americans will run out of money in October. So yeah,
Well,
we'll see.
we didn't, and even in this show, we didn't even bring up the whole student loan repayment thing.
Oh, and
that's about to kick off in October too. So
So-
I think that's another ticking time bomb, if you will. I think there's more coming that we're gonna enjoy.
Watch
talking
out,
about.
DTIs. Watch out.
Debt to income ratio.
Watch out.
We should have like a funeral for debt to income ratios and all our files that are going to get blown
but
up.
the good thing is that if you have the resources and you have the right team behind you, there is ways to help you allocate the right information so that you can make the right decisions and have the opportunity to still be able to buy. There's a lot of programs. We have a lot of knowledge here at our office. We have over 20 years of experience in the mortgage industry combined. So I really, really feel that right now, look for those lifelines that are going to give you the resources, the information, and the right tools so that you make the best financial decisions for your family.
Yeah, Brian, can I actually piggyback off of that?
No.
Well, okay, let's say you're watching football or basketball, right? Let's take LeBron James. Something happens in the game. He's not going to freak out and just sit there and be like, oh, well, something happened. I'm done playing, because he's a professional, right? Yeah. And if you made it this far in the video and you're still watching this, I know the market seems crazy right now, but we're the professionals and we're not freaking out. Yeah. So, I mean, if you still, have goals for real estate, it's still possible. And you'd be surprised how easy it is. Just connect with the professionals, please.
Yeah.
Let us guide
100%.
you. Just let us guide you.
Yeah, good point. You have a lot of not only knowledge in the room, but experience, track record. And again, we're closing loans. So we have all these scenarios where people are getting into homes, new builds. I mean, you and I talked about one the other day, doing an FHA cash out refinance to pay off consumer debt, this consumer debt you're referring to. So in some cases, the need will precede the appetite, and the need will precede whether or not it even looks good on paper, but it has to be done in order to salvage the other thing that might be the top priority in your life.
There's no such thing as problems, only solutions.
That's
Oh.
it.
Go.
Wow.
Problems are obstacles.
This
And
young
you're
guy,
supposed to get over obstacles.
This young guy's on the way.
Call him Lonesome Mike.
This young guy's on the way.